Hello everyone, this is going to be the 60 literary and jury charge. We're going to start off with an invitation by email. Okay, I'm going to give you a word list. You're going to hear invitation, fellowship, reservation, opportunity, which is TUNT, stimulating, and friendly. All right, here we go. Ready? Dear friend, this is your invitation to be our guest at a dinner party in honor of Dr. Carter. It will be held on this Wednesday evening, March 26 at the church. The dinner will be served in the church dining room. This will be an informal affair in an atmosphere of fun and fellowship. There will be child care. The dining room entrance is on Broadway, and there will be someone there to greet you. The evening is designated not only for fun, but to acquaint you with our program. You will have an opportunity to ask questions, and Dr. Carter will answer them. I assure you that it will be stimulating and of more than ordinary value to people in our town. Please email back the response to book your reservations at once. We think a large number of people will want to attend, but we will have to stop taking reservations when we fill up our tables. I hope to see you on this friendly occasion. Williams and Ford Enterprises. All right. Moving right into a narrative answer. Here we go. Ready? He was low on gas. I am not sure what really happened. I know that we were coasting to save on gas, and he was going away too fast. I knew it was just a matter of time before we hit something because he was going too fast, and it was like a time bomb just waiting to explode. He said something about turning it off and coasting down the hill in neutral. I remember that John kept telling him not to do that because we knew he would crash. All right. Moving right into some jury charge, and this is a general jury charge. Okay, here we go. Ready? In determining the effect, weight, and value of the evidence that is presented before you, the law does not permit you to act in an arbitrary manner, but requires that you carefully consider all of the evidence and give to such evidence that weight to which, when measured by your reason and experience, it is entitled. A person is qualified to testify as an expert if he has special knowledge, skill, experience, training, or education sufficient to qualify him as an expert on the subject to which his testimony relates. Duly qualified experts may give their opinions on questions in controversy at a trial to assist you in deciding such questions. You may consider the opinion of the expert who testifies with the reasons given for it, if any, by the expert who gives the opinion. In examining an expert witness, counsel may propound to him a type of question known in the law as a hypothetical question. In such a hypothetical question, the witness is asked to assume a set of facts to be true and then to give an opinion based on that assumption. In permitting such a question, the court does not rule and does not necessarily find that all the assumed facts have been proved. It only determines that those assumed facts are within the probable or possible range of the evidence. It is for you, the jury, to find from all the evidence whether or not the facts assumed in a hypothetical question have been proved. And if you should find that any assumption in such a question has not been proved, you are to determine the effect of that failure of proof on the value and weight of the expert opinion based on the assumed facts. And I know that probable or possible, those were both brought up. The brief for probable is P-R-O-B-L, probable, and possible is P-O-B-L. So the only difference is the R in there. Okay. All right. I've got an article here. This is called Twin Tragedies Give Survivor a New Face and a New Life. Okay, here we go. He'd been waiting for this day, and when his doctor handed him the mirror, Andy Sandness stared at his image and absorbed the enormity of the moment. He had a new face, one that had belonged to another man. His father and his brother, joined by doctors and nurses at Mayo Clinic, watched him examine his swollen features. He was just starting to heal from one of the rarest surgeries in the world, a face transplant, the first at the medical center. He had the nose, cheeks, mouth, lips, jaw, chin, even the teeth of his donor. Resting in his hospital bed, he still couldn't speak clearly, but he had something to say, far exceeding my expectations, he scrawled in a notebook. You don't know how happy that makes us feel, Dr. Summer Martin replied as he read the message aloud, addressing the man who'd become his friend over the last decade. The exchange came near the end of an extraordinary medical journey that revolved around two outdoorsmen, both just 21, when they decided to kill themselves. Sandness survived, but with a face almost destroyed by a gunshot. The other man died. Their paths wouldn't converge for years, but when they did, inside by side operating rooms. One man's tragedy offered hope. The other would have a second chance at a normal life. 2 days before Christmas in 2006, a deeply depressed Andy Sandness put a rifle beneath his chin and pulled the trigger. Instantly, he knew he'd made a terrible mistake. When the police arrived, he begged, "Please, please don't let me die." He was rushed from his home in eastern Wyoming, treated at 2 hospitals, then transferred to Mayo Clinic, where he met Dr. Mardini, a plastic surgeon whose specialty is facial reconstruction. Sandness had no nose or jaw. His mouth was shattered. Just 2 teeth remained. He'd lost some vision in his left eye. Mardini and his team reconstructed his upper and lower jaw with bone, muscle, and skin from the hip and a leg. They reconnected facial bones with titanium plates and screws. After about 8 surgeries, over 4.5 months, Sandness returned to tiny Newcastle, Wyoming, where friends and family embraced him. He worked at a lodge in the oil fields and as an electrician's apprentice. But his world had shrunk. When he went grocery shopping, he avoided eye contact with children so he wouldn't scare them. He had almost no social life. He retreated to the hills to hunt and fish. Sandness adapted. His mouth was too small for a spoon or a fork, so he tore food into bits and pieces. He wore a prosthetic nose, but it constantly fell off when he was outdoors or if he did any physical activities. You never fully accept it, he says. You eventually say, okay, is there something else we can do? The prospect of 15 more surgeries Dr. Mardini had mapped out scared him. For several years, Sandnes made annual visits to the Mayo Clinic. Then, in 2012, the plastic surgeon, Dr. Mardini, called. It looked like the Mayo Clinic was going to launch its first face transplant program. The doctor let him know that he thought he might be an ideal patient for his new surgery. Okay, so we're going to stop there. There is more, but we'll finish it in our next literary and jury charge class. Okay, so that concludes the 60 literary and jury charge. Have a great day.